Kids of tough dads. When did you see a side of him no one else did? My dad was the kind of guy you didn't mess with. 6'2", hands like catcher's mitts, and a stare that could make you confess to crimes you didn't commit. He ran a landscaping business, barking orders at his crew like a drill sergeant, and at home, he wasn't much different. Rules were ironclad. Home by 9, dishes done before bed, no backtalk. My buddies called him the General, half joking, half terrified. Me, I'm Jake, 16, stuck navigating his boot camp vibe with my mom and little brother Max, who's 10 and already better at staying on dad's good side. I always wondered if there was more to him than the tough guy act, some piece of him he kept locked away. I got my answer last summer, but it came at a cost, and it started with a fight that shook our house to its foundation. Growing up under dad's roof felt like living in a pressure cooker. He wasn't cruel, but he was relentless. If I brought home a C, he'd sit me down for a lecture about owning my future. If I missed a soccer practice, he'd make me run laps in the backyard until my legs burned. Life's not a free ride, Jake, he'd say, his voice like gravel. Mom would try to smooth things over, saying he just wanted us to succeed, but it felt like he was training us for a war we didn't sign up for. Max, being younger, got off easier, but even he knew to keep his head down when dad was in a mood. I didn't hate him, but I craved a moment where he'd just be normal. Maybe crack a joke or tell me he was proud without a butt attached. Deep down, I wondered if he even liked us or if we were just his responsibility. The summer I turned 16, things were already tense. I'd been working part-time at dad's business, hauling mulch and trimming hedges under the July sun. It was grueling, and dad didn't cut me any slack. "You're not here to goof off," he'd snap if I took a water break too long. I was saving up for a used car, dreaming of the freedom it'd bring, but every paycheck felt like a drop in the bucket. At home, dad was extra edgy because his business was struggling. Some big client had bailed, and he was scrambling to cover payroll. Mom kept trying to cheer him up, but he'd just grunt and disappear into the garage to tinker with his tools. Max and I tiptoed around him, knowing one wrong move could set him off. It all came to a head one muggy evening in late July. Dinner was quiet, just the clink of forks and Mom's nervous small talk about her garden club. Max was rambling about a science fair project, something about building a model rocket, when Dad cut him off. "Focus on eating, not yapping," he said, not even looking up from his plate. Max shrank back, and I felt my jaw tighten. I was sick of the silence, sick of Dad acting like we were his employees instead of his kids. Before I could stop myself, I muttered, "Maybe he'd talk less if you didn't shut him down all the time." The room froze. Mom's fork hovered midair, and Max's eyes went wide. Dad's head snapped up, his stare boring into me. "What did you say?" he asked, his voice low and dangerous. I knew I should back down, but something in me snapped. "I said you're always on us," I shot back. "Max was just excited, and you act like it's a crime. You treat us like we're failing you every day." Mom gasped, "Jake, honey, let's not." But Dad raised a hand, silencing her. He leaned forward, his knuckles white around his glass. "You think you can talk to me like that in my house? After everything I do for you? Everything you do?" I laughed, the sound bitter. "You mean working us like dogs and acting like we're never good enough? I'm busting my butt for your business, and all I get is grief." My voice was shaking now, and I could feel Max staring, but I couldn't stop. Dad stood up, towering over the table. "You're out of line, Jake. You don't know what it takes to keep this family afloat." "Maybe I'd know if you ever talked to us," I shouted, standing too. "You're not a dad. You're a boss." The words hung in the air, and for a second I thought he might actually hit me. Instead, he pointed at the door. "Get out now. Check out the full story down here."